Good morning, dear students. Today we shall learn a new lesson in economics, gross domestic product and its growth and introduction. So let's learn what is the meaning of gross domestic product. We shortly call it as GDP. Actually, it measures the amount of money brought into the nation in a single year through the selling of that nation's goods and services. So GDP is a measurement of how well a nation's economy is doing for a particular year. A high GDP means the nation is doing well, and if it is low, the nation is doing poorly. So that's what we mean. And we can define it actually GDP, or the gross domestic product. We can also say it's a market value or all final goods and services produced in a country in a given period. And students, actually here a good example is given in your book. You can see, even if you go to a hotel or anything, idli and tea, if you order, actually the person who is the owner of it, he has to pay even to the people who do the service. So here they have given the item as tangible and not tangible goods. Actually tangible goods, you can say idli and also the tea which is being served to you, but the person who is cooking in the kitchen and also the person who is serving you, so that is non-tangible activities actually. So the value has to be added for that also. That we call it as a services. Economists call such activity as services. So for everything altogether, the price will be collected, the amount will be collected from us if we go there. And the next, we can see the definition there itself. It's divided actually, definition in that goods and services, then market value, final goods and services, and which is produced within a country in a given period of time. So here also actually students, they have given about a cup of tea also. Even a cup of tea cost, if they say it is 10 rupee, means we just pay including the sugar which is added over there, milk which is added in the tea. So whatever it may be, whatever we just, the cup of tea means it's just 10 rupee. So again they won't ask you the money for sugar or for the milk which is added over there. So it will become double counting if they ask again. So overall the value of that including the cup. So that's a value here it's been given. Now next, here you can say the market value. Goods and services are valued at their market prices. And then final goods and services, if you see, means bought by final user. Intermediate goods are produced by one firm, bought by another, and used as a component of a final good or service. So let's move on over there. The formula over here for GDP. So it's given consumption plus investment plus, over here you can say government expenditure, G for government expenditure, plus you can say here X minus M, it is given in the bracket, you can say. That means X for exports and M for import. So that's a definition which has been given there. And let's see about the national income, students. Here actually it's a measure of the total money value of goods and services produced by an economy over a period of time, normally a year. So national income is also defined as a sum total of market value of final goods and services produced by normal residents of a country in 1 year. So let's learn more about it. Various terms associated with the measuring of national income. So the first we can say gross domestic product. It's also been called as GNP. And then gross national product, net national product, and then net national product at a factor cost or net national income, personal income, disposable income. So let's learn in detail about all these. Here about gross domestic product, it's given certain formula has been given for that. So GNP is equal to C plus I plus G plus export and import. Actually C for consumption. Consumption means the usage of it, and I for investment, the amount what we invest, and G for government expenditure, how much is the expenditure of the government, and then X for export and M for import, and NFIA, the expansion of it is a net factor income from abroad. So let's learn about gross domestic product now. In gross domestic, it's actually the total value of output of goods and services produced by the factors of production, you can say. And then net national product, NNP. So shortly it is called NNP, and even for this also you have the formula that GNP minus depreciation. So that's also been given there by making some adjustment. So is arrived from by making some adjustment with regard to depreciation, that is we arrive the net national product. So what they do in this is actually they deduct by deducting the value of depreciation from gross national product. That's what the formula they are given there. Next, net domestic product. So when depreciation is subtracted from GDP, we get a net domestic product. So next, let's move on over there to per capita income. Actually, students, this per capita income is equal to national income divided by population. So per capita income, also known as income per person, is a mean income of the people in an economic unit such as a country or city. It is calculated by taking a measure of all sources of income in the aggregate and dividing it by the total population. So let's learn about the personal income. So here personal income actually it's a sum of all incomes received by an individual or households during a given year. So you can see transfer payments, that's also it's equal to incomes which are not earned but received. And the examples I can see the old age pension, unemployment compensation, relief payments, all that. And let's learn about disposal income. So here you see personal income. So in that we can say consumption expenditures plus savings, you can say, and also disposable personal income is equal to PI, that means personal income minus direct taxes. So let's learn about the next topic, gross domestic product, GDP. So it's produced in the country, produced during a time period, all that we'll learn. It's also defined the total production of goods and services in the economy, production, income and expenditure, you can see there. Average of all these we call it as GDPA, you can say. Then gross domestic product, again you can say it's divided into three different things, that is expenditure method, income method and production method, you can say, in which expenditure you find consumption, the usage of it, the investment plus government plus net exports. And whereas in income method, if you see wages, the amount which has been paid as a salary or the wages for the people who work there, rental rate on capital plus firm profits, the amount of profit what they get over there. Then the third, production method, final value of all goods and services. So at the end what does we get over there, the value. And then in GDP, the expenditure factor incomes, value of output. Let's see in detail here. So here we'll see GDP. So already I have explained to you. C for consumption, I for investment, so and also G for government expenditure plus export and export minus import. So this all you can see here. And then we'll see about the value added taxes, value added approach. Let's see, GDP is a sum of value added by all firms in economy. For example, rupees in million. Sectors, value of cost of value, actually output. Here you can see value of output, cost of yes, intermediate goods, and then also value added, all this agriculture and all that. You can just see, look at it. You can see, can go through that. And the next, value added approach. So you can see a good example over there. And ice cream production I have just shown you there on the screen. The farmer, and here is the value of sales, very less. Then cone factory, ice cream maker, you can see how much. And then middle person, final sales, and at last a vendor who comes to sell. And overall, if you see all this, if you calculate, then only the product, it comes to a hand, and it's really more. And the next, let's learn about the importance of GDP. So in your book also you can see the same points there. Study of economic growth, we learn more about it. And then problems of inflation and deflation, sometimes the high price and then a low price and all that you see. Comparison with developed countries of the world. So there are many countries such as. Then estimate the purchasing power, a study of public sector, then also guide to economic planning. Then let's learn about the limitations of GDP. So see, actually there are certain things you can say we cannot have any such limitations, and especially the services provided by parents to their children, it's not included in the GDP. Actually the love and concern which the parents show to their children, which cannot be included in GDP. And also fresh air we breathe every day for healthy life, that's also not included. And then you can say in GDP measures not quantity but not quality. It measures only quantity but not quality is given. Actually the improvement in quality of goods is very important, but it's not captured by the GDP. So next, GDP doesn't tell us about the way income is distributed in the country. So you can say GDP of the country may be growing rapidly, but income may be distributed so unequally. It happens. And then the GDP doesn't tell us about the kind of life people are living. So sometimes very low condition of people, we find the condition of living is very low, and sometimes high pollution we find. So it's too bad, you can say. And the next, composition of domestic product. And in this you can say primary sector, secondary and tertiary you have already learnt. So let's learn about the primary, in which you find the agriculture, cattle farm, fishing, mining, forestry, and all that comes over there under that. Then secondary you can see in industry, the type of goods which are being produced there, semi-finished products, finished products and all that. Once the raw material is sent over there to the factories, it has been changed into semi-finished and finished products. And here some examples of the industries are there given in your book: iron and steel industry, cotton, textile, jute, sugar, cement, paper, petrochemical, automobile, and other small scale industries also you can find over there. Then next, third, finally you find the tertiary. Here the goods and services you can find, and in which it includes government, scientific research, transport and communication, trade, postal and telegraph, banking, education, entertainment, and then healthcare and information technology, and many more you can say, etc. So next, see overall students, the contribution of different sectors in GDP of India. So a tabular column you can see there, and services 53%, and agriculture just 18%, and industry 29%. Next you can see the sector wise, you can see there are so many colors, you can just look at it, and it's given in your book also. And for agriculture sector, then industry, service sector, and all that, you just go through that. Let's move on to the next here. And the service wise GDP growth of India, how it has gone up in ups and downs, you can see there. And India is the second largest producer of agricultural products. So India accounts 7.39% of total global agricultural outcome. And contribution of agriculture sector in Indian economy is much higher than the world's average. They call it as 6.4%. And contribution of industry and services sector is lower than the world's average, 30% for industry sector and 63% for service sector. So students, you just go through this lesson, and in today's lesson only this much, and then later in the next lesson we shall meet with the economic growth and development. So thank you.